Morning, all the students. Today's topic is the new topic of the B.Sc second year classes, which are related to the animal physiology. I was discussed about to the different kinds of the systems which included in the physiology, that is named as a digestion, respiration and circulation. So that today's topic is another system is related to the physiology and participate and maintain to the survival of all the vertebrate animals. This is the very essential for that to the when the time of the farming to the best product, and this is the very toxic, and that do not prolong time inside the body, because this is the injurious to health, because have to the toxicity, so that these are going outside of the body, so that this is the excretion mechanism, that is the excretion. So today's topic is the excretion, and we will discuss about to the what about to the excretion and what do you think about to the excretion. So that first of all, what is the excretion process? As we earlier mentioned that into the beginning of this topic, that is mentioned, the excretion is the process. Excretion is the one of the system in the physiology which participate to the removal of the waste products from the body, because after the metabolism, that is the form, and these are have to the toxicity that is not prolonged time inside the body, and essential for going in the outside, because this is given to the particular problems for that to the disorder inside the coordination of the different kinds of the systems. So that excretion, what about to the excretion? Excretion is the process, excretion is the mechanism, excretion is the procedure in which all the animals from to the lower to the higher which adopted for that to the excreted those of the substances, those of the materials, those of the compounds which form during to the metabolic activities. After the metabolic activities, these are the have to the toxicity and the essential that for goes outside of the body. This is the very essential, because these are not to the body which are not required, and this is the very important that to the remove from the body. So as you mentioned, to the from to the lower to the higher animals, that is the excretion process is done by, but through the evolution process, the different through the evolution process, that is the, as you know that very well, that is the all the animals through the evolution which are have to the different kinds of the body organization or the particular systems, particular organ for the particular work. As one of the organs is the kidney, which are mentioned into the in the recently to the lectures. So that to the for the excretion, all the animals which are adapted to the particular organs, and that organ during to the evolution which are modified and to the change into the higher or the complex organs for the secretion, for the excretion. To the lower ones and to the higher ones, from to the protozoa to the mammals, this is the invertebrate and the vertebrate. Invertebrate animals which are goes to the excretion from to the body surfaces and to the other organs. But here in this topic the particular papers that is indicating that to the only vertebrate animals, because these are animals of physiology, and only in comparison these are the comparable of the excretory organs and the excretory mechanism of the all the vertebrate animals that initiated from to the prokaryote to the mammals, and particularly fishes to the mammals, because to the particular organs, particular kidneys which are going from to the fishes to mammals is a different name through the evolution, through the changes, through the modification. So that now go to the particular topics is mentioned that to the how is the process of the mechanism is done, how is the animals which doing to the better functioning for the removal of the waste material. So that we are just know that to the in the simple one, to the kidney is one of the organs for the excretion of the material. That is the very important through the channel. So that to the from the beginning of the developmental process through the fishes and to the mammals, this is the particular vertebrate animals, that is followed by to the elimination and separation of the waste material during form to the metabolism, and that is goes out to the outside from to the kidneys. So archaeonephric kidneys, mesonephric kidneys, and to the metanephric kidneys during the evolution process that form and modify into the higher ones. So this is the responsible for that to the excretion process, separation process, elimination process of the waste material. Particular substances which are related to the excretion, that is called to the excretory materials, and those are the organs which are responsible for that to the excretion, that is called to the excretory systems, excretory organs. And we are just look at here in the process of the excretion, just what kinds of the scenario which are going in our mind, and that to the understand about to the situation and definition and the functioning of the kidneys, and the particular you can say that about to the excretory system. So that first of all we are just goes to the as you mentioned that to the different kinds of the, first of all you just understand to the what is the process of this excretion. Excretion is the process, excretion is the mechanism, excretion is the procedure by which or in which to the nitrogenous waste material elimination and separation. Through the process of the excretion, the elimination and separation and elimination of the nitrogenous waste material being formed to the metabolic activities, that is called to the excretion. Excretion, the process by which the separation and elimination of the nitrogenous waste products of the metabolism is called as the excretion. This is a very simple thing. This is the very simple in word, that to the those of the materials or the substances forming during or the after metabolic processes that separated, first of all is going into the processes is the separation, that is the isolation, degradation, and then to the eliminate from to the those of the substances from to the which are is participating into the metabolism. So that now to the process by which the separation and elimination of the nitrogenous waste products of the metabolism is called as excretion. Excretion is the process in which nitrogenous and nitrogenous waste material is eliminated and separated during to the metabolism. This is a very important into all the chapters, all the topics we are mentioned. I was mentioned to the back-to-back lectures, and always to mention that is a very important, very essential to the metabolism, and the metabolism is a very important all the functioning. For all the functioning, all the mechanism, all the procedures, digestion, excretion, respiration, circulation, nervous system, hormonal system, all the procedures which are, because the animals organization, animals body which are made by the cell, and the cell which have to the cytoplasm along with the inorganic and organic constituents, and to proceeds the process of the chemical reactions for the giving to the energy, anabolic substances and new synthetic substances are the waste product. That is being energy is helping to the going into the survival process, and to the new substances which are the participators once again to the into the building blocks are the other things, and to the during this processes to the waste product is a different kinds of the waste product which are formed, and that is going outside for the along with the essentiality, because these are the very toxic substances. So that to these kinds of the system which are integrated and the coordinated system, once again I will say that I prominently say that about to the this is the process will communicate it to each other, and that is the excretion is the excretory materials which are formed to the during to the metabolism. Metabolism is the catabolism, and anabolism, catabolism the degraded process. That to the as an example we are take to example of the glucose which are degraded into the for the energy, that is the pyruvic acid, and to the after the pyruvic acid which are formed to the ammonia and different all the substances which are as you can see that into the particular system, so that the number of the waste products are separated by to the metabolic activities. These waste products become toxic. As mentioned that this is a very important that to the during to the metabolism for the excretory material which are formed after the metabolism, so that to the numbers of the waste products, and these are the waste products in the different forms, nitrogen form, nitrogenous waste material, different forms as well, so that are the separated by the metabolic activities after the metabolism, after the chemical reaction, after the going into the mechanism, that is the degradation to the breakdown to the materials in the in the metabolic processes, these are separated and then eliminated. So but this is the most important thing is that these waste products become toxic. This is the very toxic, this is the very injurious, this is the very dangerous for that, because this is the have to the toxicity, have to the poison, and the poisonous substance is very injurious for the tissues work, functioning mechanism, so for the discussion on the basis for the understanding about to the excretion, the separation and elimination of the nitrogenous waste product from the metabolism, that is called to the excretion. This is the very toxic substance, and these toxic substance which are not for a long time inside the body, because their concentration limits which are going into the proceed is the injurious to health, so that to the body is adopted during to the evolution, that is the metabolism, that is the excretory system, and that excretory system is the help in take part into the excretion of these nitrogenous waste materials. Those are the system is involved into the excretion is called to the excretory system, and that's to the products which are eliminated from that to the excretory products. So now understand about to the situation or the condition or the scenarios which are taken by the animals in here to the after the metabolism. As you know that after the metabolism, that is a form to the in nitrogenous waste material. You are just take to the examples. In the examples, when the 1 mole of the glucose is a takes to the reactions, just like to the glucose C6H12O6 will undergoing to the reaction, and that's to the break into the CO2 plus H2O and then energy. This is in a simple for that to the simplification in manner. C6H12O6 is the glucose, and the glucose is the breakdown into the CO2, H2O and energy. The CO2 is the nitrogenous waste. H2O is also a nitrogenous waste. But to the if want to that about to the for the explanation that is the protein metabolism is also formed to the nitrogenous waste material. So that into the again and again we say that about to the after or the during from to the metabolism, that is the form to the nitrogenous waste material into the different forms to the CO2, H2O and the nitrogenous waste material. Now understand about to the which kinds of the nitrogenous waste material is formed. Who's the named as what is the name of the nitrogenous waste material and formed to the ammonia, urea and uric acid is the toxic substances, but is their concentration and concentration is the limit is different into the different animals. First of all, we are just trying to understand about to the when the urea, uric acid and the ammonia is formed, first of all look at here to the excretory product of the vertebrate. We are just mentioned to the which are going into the label in the classification, that is started from to the species, particularly species to mammal, and from to the vertebrate animals, that is the which are have to the vertebral column, and that's species excretory products of the vertebrates. The main excretory products are the water, CO2 and nitrogenous waste product. The main excretory products are the water, CO2 and the nitrogenous waste product. The removal of the water takes place through the undigested food, urine and the sweat. Just first understand into the first sentences. The main excretory products are water, CO2 and nitrogenous waste products. During to the protein metabolism, when the deamination process is going on, deamination process takes place in the liver cells, and then liver cells which perform to the deamination process. During to the deamination, how is the mechanism which are going on, and which type of the substance is formed. So into the directly to the brief, deamination process which are adopted, deamination, because the protein which are formed, protein is a form with the help of their units, and their unit is called to the amino acid, and then amino acid is deaminated. The loss of their structures, which means that to the deamination process is going on, and formation of the ammonia, formation of the pyruvic acid, Deamination process is going on and form to the ammonia and the pyruvic acid. Ammonia and to the pyruvic acid. The pyruvic acid is once again is utilized in the process of the glycolysis, decarboxylation and the Krebs cycle for the energy production. But into the ammonia is a very toxic substances. This is the very toxic, and that to the called nitrogenous waste material, because the nitrogen and along with the hydrogen which form to these are product nitrogenous waste material, and these are the nitrogen waste materials. These are very toxic, but in the process is going to formation of the ammonia, and the formation of the urea. In the urea formation to the ammonia, different kinds of the metabolic processes when the protein metabolism is going on, or the deamination process is proceeds, so that to the form to the lot of the ammonia, and that ammonia is with the help of to the carbon dioxide. Ammonia and carbon dioxide form to the ammonia and carbon dioxide form due to the presence of the urease enzyme, that is the urea. Both are the products is combined together during after the metabolic process, and that form to the urea. So that the urea is another nitrogenous waste product, and which secreted from to the body of the mammals. And another one is the uric acid is also found in the body of the mammals or all the vertebrate animals, so that to the their ratio, their limit, their concentration is different into the all the different vertebrate animals, as you can say. So here to the deamination process and the formation of the urea to the lot of the ammonia and the pyruvic acid is formed, and that's the pyruvic ammonia which combined with the carbon dioxide with the help of the urease enzyme, and that is formed to the urea. And the urea is another nitrogenous base product, and to the after that to the urea acid form. So that into the description, you are found, we found that about to the carbon dioxide, nitrogenous waste material, and to the water. There are the three waste materials, as you mentioned that in this line, to the water, CO2, and the nitrogenous waste product. Water, CO2, and nitrogenous waste product. Water, CO2, and nitrogenous waste. They are the three. Because this is the three, only three. Water, CO2, and nitrogenous. The removal of the water, the first thing, removal of the water from to the body, that takes place through the undigested food material, urine, and sweat. There are the forms of the excretory products which goes outside of the body through the mechanism. What is the mechanism is going on? Undigested food material which are going from. First is that in the form of the excretory products, that is the water, and the water is going which kinds of form? Which can say that is the excretory material is the form of the water that is a change and go outside. Why? What is the procedure is going on? How the mechanism is adapted of the body, and that to the these are the materials is goes to the outside, so that first of all to the water, and the water in the form of the undigested food material, that is the fecal matter. Through the fecal matter is goes to another one to the urine. Through the urine, after the formation of the urine is the form through the nephrons, and nephrons unit of the kidney is mentioned that in the next chapter, and that too well known about to the removal of the water in the form of the urine, so that the lot of the in the amount of about to the 90% of the water. Urine which are have to the 90% of the water, and that water is goes to the another one from to the body in the form of the urine, and the urine is formed to the different kinds of the inorganic, organic, urea, uric acid, urochrome, and to the those are the substances which are toxic. That is goes to the through the urine, and last is the sweat. The sweat gland is present on the epithelial tissues, within the epithelial tissues, and then when are the summer or when are the humid conditions, that is the animals or the human beings is adopted for apply to the adaptation process according to the environment, so that to the maintain of the body temperature, the sweat gland which are released to the sweat gland which excrete to the water in the form of the sweat. Why are to the sweat gland, why are to the water is removing from to the sweat gland? Because the adaptation process according to the environment that a body which are maintained to the body temperature. Why are the body is adapted to the these kinds of the mechanism? Because to the enzymatic action is takes place when the body is on the or at to the equilibrium level, on the steady state, that is going into the particularly we can say that is the homeostatic process, so that we will say that about to the this is the excretory mechanism. So there are the three forms of the product. First of all, you just look at here from to the removal of the body, and now go to the CO2. CO2 is a carbon dioxide. The carbon dioxide is formed. How is the procedure is going on inside the body? That is called to the metabolism. The metabolism is the catabolic processes in the degradation, and that any kinds of the degradation process, that is the particularly formation of the energy, that is the carbon dioxide is the formed, and that carbon dioxide is the injurious to health because this is the toxic substance, and that is the in the form of the gases, and expired after that to the formation in the metabolic processes, so that is the bind along with the plasma and the hemoglobin through the blood, and that blood which are reach into the lungs, and the lungs is expired to the expiration process, so that to the CO2 is always expired the materials from the outside to the this is the another one is the excretory material. The body is adapted to the channel or the system for that to the elimination or the removal of the CO2 from this channel, so that to the in the respiration, that is the inspiration and expiration process, so the expiration for that to the expiration of the CO2. So CO2 is also, this CO2 is removed through the respiratory system by the process of the expiration, inspiration, intake and in and out. Intake of the oxygen and out the CO2. That intake is the inspiration and the out is the expiration. So that there are the two types of the forms of the excretory products, and that's to the goes from to the outside of the body through the different kinds of the channel, different kind of the way which. And another one is the very important, that is the third one, to the nitrogenous waste material. Nitrogenous waste material is the vertebrate animals is have to the different forms along with the invertebrate animals as well. So that particularly we are here to the only describe to the vertebrate animal, because we are mentioned that to the animal physiology, particular higher ones to the from to the fishes to the mammals, and we are beginning to in the topics of the excretion, that is the how many types of the nitrogenous waste material formed during to the metabolism in the different types of the vertebrate animals, animals, so that we just look at here and just concentrated on the whiteboard, and you try to understand about to the what is the procedure is going on, and then to the these forms of the nitrogenous waste material, because you know that very well now to the what is the definition is the process by which the separation and elimination of the nitrogenous waste products of the metabolism is called as excretion. So that first of all separation and the elimination of the nitrogenous waste. So the processes is going on and form to the nitrogenous waste material. So different kinds of the nitrogenous waste material is found into the vertebrate animal, from to the fishes to the mammals. In the fishes, particularly referred to the textile in nature is the fishes. So that to the here to the nitrogenous waste products are. Nitrogenous waste products is the particularly different kind, but only mention that into the vertebrate animals is to the three kinds: ammonia, urea and uric acid. Ammonia, urea and uric acid. Recently is mentioned to the these are the nitrogenous waste material, excretory material, which means that to the these are the body is wanted to that is going on outside, which means that to the this is the has to the toxicity and goes to the outside. This is the very essential. This is the mandatory for that if the animals or the human beings is as want to go in the survival process. So that first we know that to the ammonia, urea and uric acid, these are the nitrogenous waste materials, and these form during to the metabolism, deamination, urea formation and uric acid formation. So that is the different kinds of the metabolic processes is going on, and that form to the there are the three kinds of nitrogenous waste material, those which ammonia, urea and uric acid. On the basis of these nitrogenous waste products, according to the types of excretory waste products, the vertebrate are classified into three main groups. According to the type of excretory waste products, the animals which have to the adaptation for to the excretion, and that excretion is mentioned in the recently to the beginning of the chapter, that is to the evolution process, from to the mammals to the from to the fishes to the mammals, that is the fishes is adapted to the archaeonephric kidneys, and to the mammals to the metanephric kidneys. As in the recently to mention that for the clarify to the what is the systems and to the what is the excretory organs. The kidney is the excretory organs, and that is made up of their units is the nephron, and the millions of the nephron is found and to the make to the particular kidneys, and that's to the play an important role to the separation and elimination of to the waste product and formation of the urine. There are the successive consecutive three mechanisms to the ultrafiltration, reabsorption and tubular secretion into the higher ones. But first of all, we are just mentioned to the archaeonephric kidney, also called to the pronephric kidney, mesonephric kidney and metanephric kidney. To the pro, meso and meta. This is the evolution process. This is the going into the modification or the changes which are occurred into the lot of the times. So first of all, fishes, amphibians, reptilians, birds, or the aves, and then mammals is the finally is the higher ones. So according to the type of the excretory material, on the basis of the excretory material, there are the vertebrate animals is classified into three categories: ammonotelic, ureotelic, and uricotelic. Ammonotelic, ureotelic, uricotelic. On the basis of excretory products. Excretory products. So, ammonotelic, those are the animals which are excreted a nitrogenous waste material in the form of the excretory products. That's called to the ammonotelic. Those are the animals which excrete ammonia in the form of the excretory nitrogenous product is called to the ammonotelic animals. Is only found in as you mentioned, as we can say that about to the in the examples of the ammonotelic animals is the fishes, amphibia, and crocodilians. Just look at here and goes into the some of the consideration in your mind. The fishes, amphibia, and crocodilians. These are the animals is the aquatic in nature. Aquatic in nature. Fishes, amphibians are the which are found into the both aquatic and the land ones, and the crocodilians is all the form of the crocodilians is found into the water. So that these are the animals which are live into the water. That means to the ammonotelic animals is found into their habitat is the water bodies, and so that ammonia is a more toxic substance. And that animals are those are the animals which are living to the water that excrete as a nitrogenous waste product of the ammonia, because the ammonia is a more toxic substance. So that these are the animals which are adapted, which are received to the more and more water for the removal of the ammonia from the body. So from the body, ammonia is essential because this is the more and more toxic substance. From the removal of the toxicity in the body of these of the animals, that is adapted to the these kinds of the mechanism, and water is essential for that to the removal of the ammonia. So that to the ammonotelic animal is the fishes, amphibian, and crocodilians. So another one is the ureotelic, is the more toxic, is the less toxic. Urea is a form in the particularly mammals, as you know that very well. To the mammals is a form in the urine, that is the urea is also present, and the urea is a form during to the ammonia combined with the carbon dioxide in the presence of the enzyme urease and convert into the urea, and that urea is secreted from to the outside of the mammals, because this is the less toxic, and on the behalf of the less toxicity, the mammals is want to that about to the less amount of the water. It means that to the less toxicity is removed from the less water. Small amount of the water, a small quantity of the water that is removed from to the urea. In the urea which goes outside from to the body from the mammals through the urine. So that the uricotelic animals is only to the mammals is it. But in the third category, uricotelic animals. Uricotelic animals is those animals which are have to the removal of the waste material from the body in the form of the uric acid. Uric acid, at least a toxic substance. This is not to those are the animals which are found in this category, that is don't have to the any amount of the water from to the removal of this uric acid, because the uric acid is the at least toxic substance. This is in this category, that is the animals is involved to the lizard, snake and the birds. Let us see into the physical scenario. The birds and the snakes and the lizard is lizard which are found to the walls, and to the snakes and to the birds which are one to that to the less amount of the water, because the which are excreted to the less toxic substance. These are the substances either which are the more or the less or the at least. This is the toxic, and this is the very important. Absolutely, that is goes from to the body outside of the body, because they have to the toxicity, and the small or the large amount of the acute or the chronic effect is as a symptom created by the animals when this amount is present inside the body. So that today's topic is the excretion. What about to the excretion, and to the what is the nitrogenous waste product? There are the classification, and on the basis of the waste product, there are the vertebrate animals is classified into the three categories: ammonotelic, ureotelic and uricotelic. And also to the invertebrate animals is also excreted to the ammonia, urea and uric acid, but they are so little bit different, because there are the no appropriate organs or the kidneys is present, so that where are the another guanine, the nitrogenous waste, another product is also present as a nitrogenous waste material. So that we will now teach to for the excretion at a particular organs, which means that to the kidney, we are mentioned that to the we just want to that about in the chapter, that is the only the description of to the animal physiology. In the animal physiology, excretory system, and in the excretory system, that is the excretory organ is the kidney, and so the kidney will start into the next chapter. What is the structure, internal structure, what is the function, and what is the procedure for the formation of the urine, and so that to the different kinds of the events and to the hormonal activities as well is seen into this process. So today's topic is only particularly to the what is the excretion, excretory product of the vertebrate, what is the channel for that their removal, and after that to the classification on the basis of the excretory products, types of the excretory products, that is the three groups: ammonotelic, ureotelic and uricotelic. And as you mentioned that the excretion is a very important. Excretion is a very important for that to the removal of these kinds of the toxic substances and for the survival. So now you are I hope you are better understand about to the this topic. That is the one topic is going on into the each days. So next day is will start to the kidney related topic is the kidney, their structure and the function. So I hope you will better understand, and so today's topic is closed, and now restart to the next days. Thank you.